Fox 17 News at 6 starts right now.
First at 6, we are now on the second day of the trial for the 4 men charged with plotting to kidnap and kill Governor Whitmer. Let's get right out to our Josh Berry live in downtown Grand Rapids in front of the federal courthouse. And Josh, things wrapped up there about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, they're moving through this pretty quickly, though we have only gone through about half of the first witness testimony. There's still a witness on the stand that will resume tomorrow. We got through the opening arguments this morning, and of course they moved quickly through the jury selection process in just 1 day. So things are moving quickly, but there is a lot to get to with this trial. We have a team of reporters covering this for you inside the courthouse. Joining us live are Michael Martin and Doug Reardon with the very latest on this trial. Guys.
Yeah, we got started, as you mentioned, Josh, real quick in the morning with those opening statements. Yesterday, Judge Robert Yonker, he wanted to get that jury sat, as we mentioned. It happened, and 8:30 a.m. this morning, they launched right into openings. And we first heard from prosecutors who finally laid down the actual alleged plot that they are accusing these men of entering into. We had heard different pieces of theories in the court documents that were laid out, but now we have what they say was the actual plan. And that was done by the Assistant U.S. Attorney Jonathan Ross, explaining that the man had landed on a plan of breaking into Whitmer's home at gunpoint, tying her up, driving off with her while blowing up a nearby bridge on M31 to slow down police response. And they say that this went beyond the planning stages. This was an overt act, as they say in legal terms, when the men performed those recon missions and when they started collecting firearms, ammo, and explosives. And we also heard that Adam Fox and Barry Croft heard a little bit about their backgrounds before this case. They were saying that they were very much into the Boogaloo movement and were expecting a second civil war to occur in the United States. Now, defense statements, those got going as well, and they ended up quickly referencing entrapment. But of course, with entrapment, in order to do that, to present that defense, in a way the defense has to concede that a conspiracy existed in some capacity. You can't have a defense without that acknowledgement that there was something to be entrapped into. And that's why a judge called a short recess, talked to attorneys who wanted to bring it up much later in the trial. We asked Adam Fox's attorney, Chris Gibbons, how this might impact things as he left the courtroom today.
Did you lose anything by having to introduce the entrapment proofs at this point?
I don't really want to comment on legal strategies. The judge made his ruling, and so we accept that, and we're looking forward to trial tomorrow. What do you think?
And so even though the court day ended at 2 p.m. today, a little bit early, but that is the plan going forward for the rest of the trial, the prosecutors were able to bring up their first witness.
Yeah, they certainly were. Earlier, perhaps, than we had even expected, as was the case with jury selection. But it was an FBI special agent working with the agency at this time, helping to investigate this case by the name of Todd Reinick. The prosecution called him up today to act kind of in two parts. One, as an expert witness to explain how the agency got undercover informants on their side, what type of information they would ask of them and how they were paid, things of that nature. But Agent Reinick also worked on this case and has vast knowledge of the suspects and their movements from the very beginning. And in fact, we learned today that it was a tip from someone also involved in this investigation, a citizen that came walking into their Flint field office and let them know that they should be looking into this. And that's how this all started. Also, during Reinick's questioning today, we saw a few examples of times before this group's arrest and before even the FBI got involved in some cases where suspects made references to harming public officials. Two examples. One, a Facebook post on Adam Fox's page showing that he had purchased handcuffs, and another encrypted message that appears to show Barry Croft talking about hanging then Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. And going back to what you were talking about, this is all in an effort to prove that there was a predisposition there, that these suspects would have committed this crime even if the federal government had not intervened.
Right, and it's a tough line to work on, that notion that a conspiracy existed. That's a hard thing to give up. And as we asked Chris Gibbons, Fox's attorney, he doesn't want to reveal any more because that's going to go deeply into their strategy. And we're going to have coverage like this, guys, through the rest of the trial, so stay with Fox 17. For now, though, we'll send it back to you, Josh.
Yeah, and Michael and Doug, there's been a lot of talk leading up to this trial about the use of undercover FBI agents and informants. We've wondered leading up to this trial if they would be forced to reveal their identities and when and if we would actually hear from this during this trial. What's the latest on all of that?
Yeah, so a lot of undercover informants, agents. We know 11 undercover sources at least were on the ground, and 3 of those we've heard their names, one of which will actually testify, a person referred to as Big Dan. Dan, undercover source Dan, but that's not to mention the 2 undercover FBI agents who will also be testifying.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of stickiness as this all got going here before our first day yesterday as to whether or not they would testify under pseudonyms to protect their identities or whether or not they'd have to reveal their true names. And it was the latter that was decided upon. So we will know the names of these 2 undercover FBI agents when they testify, as well as the one informant that we're going to hear from as well. So that is all expected to come in the next couple of days as this progresses here downtown at the courthouse. But signing off for the both of us, Josh. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Doug Michael, thank you so much. Of course, all that's coming out from inside of the courtroom are those courtroom sketches, though you can follow along with the trial throughout the day from both Doug and Michael. They are posting and tweeting throughout the day on their social media channels, particularly on Twitter. There's hundreds of pieces of evidence to go through, countless witnesses to get to, so there is a lot to be covered in this trial. You can count on us to be here day in and day out. You can find all of our latest coverage as well by taking a picture of that QR code right there on your screen. That'll take you to everything that we've done in this plot to kidnap and kill the governor. Signing off for now. Our coverage will continue tonight at 6:30. Until then, Janice, back to you.